What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. I am your host, Matthew Peterson. And on today's show, we've got more head coaching buzz and rumors out there to hit on. The latest on Sean Payton. Plus, we're going to look at an interesting trade idea. I thought it might be fun just to take a moment away from all on the head coaching front and look at an interesting trade idea I saw online. So we got that coming up on today's show. But the first part of the show, right, is all about Sean Payton and whether or not he is in the driver's seat to be the next Denver Broncos head coach. Well, a certain NFL Hall of Fame quarterback certainly thinks so. Troy Aikman said, the Broncos can't take a chance on anybody. Sean Payton is in the driver's seat. You want to know why the Broncos can't take a chance and Sean Payton's in the driver's seat? I think this has a big reason to be why. One, you got brand new owners. This was their first season as an NFL owner. It was embarrassing for all of them. They were pretty much, in some ways, the worst team in football. By expectations, by far the worst team and underwhelming team in football. But they've got a ton of money. And they've got a lot of it sunk into right now a quarterback named Russell Wilson, who they don't want to see just completely drown and be an absolute catastrophic trade. They want to empower Russ. And what's the best way to do that? Get him the best head coach possible. I don't think I'm delivering any groundbreaking new information, but what I do want to remind you of is just how rich the Broncos are. They are richer than the second, third, and fourth NFL owners combined. Stan Kroenke, who's got the coolest stadium in the NFL at SoFi, he's 5 times richer than Walton Penner. You better believe if the Broncos want someone, and the Broncos ownership is leading the search for their next head coach, they already said that, they are not going to lose their guy. They will write whatever check it takes to get Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, Frank Reich. I don't think they're going to settle for a Vance Joseph, right? No offense, Vance, but a sort of middle-of-the-pack coordinator that's gotten some good buzz or traction lately. No, they're not going for a home run hire. They're going for a grand slam hire, and that is Sean Payton. Now, here's what's interesting. The 2023 head coach openings, I've sort of made some predictions here. We know 3 are open right now, pretty much. That's the Panthers, the Broncos, and the Colts. Panthers might stick with Steve Wilks, but for now, we'll say they're open for business. I predict the Texans move on from Lovie Smith. The Cardinals move on from Cliff Kingsbury. This is my surprising, too. The Commanders and Seattle. Maybe they sort of nudge a bit of a retirement for Riverboat Ron if they were to miss the playoffs. And then the same thing for Pete Carroll in Seattle. Kind of like maybe it's time you step aside. Just keep an eye on that. I'll put that in the tickler file. The Saints, I bet they move on from Dennis Allen. Plus, there have been some rumors about Peyton going back to New Orleans. Why retire then, right? I just don't see the real logic in why Sean Payton retired. And after one season, he comes running back to the Big Easy. The Rams are an interesting one just because there has been some talk of maybe Sean McVay stepping aside. That doesn't appear to be the case, but just kind of reminding you of some of those later rumors on these head coaching opportunities here. But at the end of the day, you give Sean Payton whatever he wants. If he wants Russell Wilson's alleged parking spot, he has it. If he wants Russell Wilson's office, if he wants to do the scene of Horrible Bosses where he can take a sledgehammer and make his office twice the size, give him the sledgehammer. Sean Payton is the only real opportunity I see for saving Russell Wilson. Maybe Frank Reich and Jim Harbaugh, but I think Sean Payton's number one of those 3. I'm not saying Russ is lost if you don't get Sean Payton, but he gives you the best chance to get what you traded for, right? Which was Russell Wilson, a multiple Pro Bowl quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, a guy worth 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Right now, the Broncos would probably trade away 2 firsts and 2 seconds to get out of Russell Wilson's contract. So you give Sean Payton whatever he wants because he's going to give you the best chance to salvage Russell Wilson. And we're looking through the lens of ownership right now. And that's what ownership cares about. They got to find someone who can make Russ good. That is priority number 1. They might say other things. That is the priority. And who does that better than anyone else? Sean Payton. Now, let's switch gears here. I just want to give some love right now to this man on screen. This is the new Denver Broncos head coach. Yeah, this is Jerry Roseberg. He is the interim head coach, and he has just taken over this team. One, I like the moves coming in and immediately dismissing the offensive line coach Barry and the special teams coordinator Stukes. those two, like, one, Barry just doesn't seem like he was getting a ton of love from the players, and special teams has just been a disaster all season. And Roseberg was pretty candid about it, saying, we're bad there. I'm a special teams guy. I'm taking over. But apparently the media is just drooling for more time with Jerry Roseberg. He has been a delightful, humorous, and nice change of pace. Not that Hackett wasn't. Hackett's a great guy. But Roseberg, I mean, he's just all anyone talks about right now. In fact, he hasn't played a game yet. But just through 2 press conferences, there are legitimate members of the media going, could Roseberg potentially be in line to get the job next year? He's done such a great job before one snap's even been taken. So, with that being said, I saw this somewhere on Twitter, and I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention. If Roseberg and the Broncos win out, do you just interview him? I'm not saying he gets the job, right? That's way too much of an overreaction. But if he were to beat the Chiefs, and shout out him, by the way, for calling it out what it is, which is, you're going to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos, and this is a team that has not beat Kansas City in coming up on a decade in a few years. Mission number 1 is to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't care what anyone else says. So with that being said, would you interview him? That's all I want to know. Yes or no? Quickly, in case you're unfamiliar, I thought you guys could use this as a reminder. Just Roseberg's career, longtime special teams coordinator. He's been doing that since 2001. Was with Cleveland for a handful of seasons, Falcons for 1 year, and then he kind of got his notoriety with Harbaugh in Baltimore from 2008 to 2018. He is a very well-respected and, admired coach in the NFL. He stopped coaching in 2018 until this year when he came out to help Nathaniel Hackett manage the clock, because I guess Hackett has never played Madden before. Now, it is important to kind of remind you all, I hate to be ageist, right? I hate to be Michael Scott, but he is 67, and I don't know how many teams lining up to hire a 67-year-old head coach. That doesn't really seem like a good fit long term. So I'm just going to put that out there. I know, arrest me for ageism, but that is a factor, I think, in this year. Overall, Roseberg, like I said, he sounds awesome. Sounds like a great coach. Very happy that he's getting this opportunity. Even if it's just 2 games, he sounds like a guy that maybe shouldn't have been passed up on so many times, and maybe he deserved a head coaching opportunity. So I'm glad he can go down, even if this is his last NFL season since he came out of retirement for this job, to just say, you know what? Even if it was very short-lived, I was an NFL head coach for 2 games, which is pretty sweet. If he can beat the Chiefs or the Chargers, that'd be a massive upset, and that'd be pretty awesome for him to put on his mantle. We got some trade rumors to get to in just a moment, but the offseason, it starts right now. We're not doing a game preview for Broncos Chiefs. I'm sorry. We are looking ahead right now. We're talking about the head coaching circus that's going to be coming our way, some free agency, some trades, some draft, all that good stuff. So if you are in line waiting for the best Broncos YouTube offseason content, subscribe today. Let's talk about Jerry Jeudy now. So a Browns beat reporter suggested that Cleveland trades cornerback Greg Newsome for Jerry Jeudy. Now, Newsome, like Jeudy, was a first-round pick, just 1 year younger. Newsome was taken late in the first round in 2021 out of Northwestern. Now, could the Broncos possibly be looking to sell this offseason? I'll get out ahead of this right now and say, with the way Jeudy has played, really since the Chiefs game and to now, the last 3 weeks or so, I am going to start passing on trade ideas. I have to be overwhelmed from an offer. How about that? Whereas back in October, I was wondering who wants Jerry Jeudy for a dishwasher, right? For a washing machine. Shout out Semi-Pro. So we have definitely come a long way as Jeudy is starting to look more and more like a legitimate wide receiver 1 on this team. Now, what might be a potential wrinkle in Jerry Jeudy sticking in Denver this offseason, which feels more likely than unlikely, but the injury element. Okay, Jeff Legwold, who does a great job of covering the team, tweeting out yesterday, Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy walked to the locker room with trainer Vince Garcia at the end of the viewing period Wednesday. He missed time earlier this season with an ankle injury, and he has had some soreness in his ankle since from time to time. This has been going on year 2 now of sort of reoccurring nagging ankle injuries for Jerry Jeudy. So that is why I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility if, one, a great offer comes in that Payton can't refuse, or even if it's not a fantastic offer, right? Let's say it's not even a first-round pick, which I don't think you're getting, but let's say it's like a third or something like that. What if Payton goes, you know what? we need draft capital. We don't have a first round or a second round pick. We have the Niners pick. We don't have our own first or second this year. And Jerry Jeudy's ankle injuries have been lingering for 2 seasons now. So maybe this is a potential out for us. Now, Jeudy, unfortunately, has not lived up, probably, we can all agree on, to the expectations, right? What we all hoped for out of a top pick in the first round. Just 9 career touchdowns through nearly 3 seasons so far. And a third of those came in 1 game. So we haven't seen it be consistent. That's been the issue for Jeudy. It's been great moments and then injury or nothing for a long stretch here. So that brings us to this guy, the other half of the equation, Greg Newsome. He has been good. I think that's what you'd hear from most people and from Cleveland, that he's been a good cornerback. I don't think Denver's biggest need right now is a cornerback. They've got a Pro Bowl, All-Pro one in Patrick Surtain. They've got an up-and-coming guy in Damari Mathis who is working through some growing pains. And they got Ronald Darby back next year for 1 year left on his contract. I just don't think cornerback is the biggest thing on Denver's priority list, which is why this is my best guess as to if a trade were to go down, what it could look like. I think the Broncos get some extra draft capital because Jeudy is better than Greg Newsome right now. So kind of a late day 3 pick swap between the 5th and the 6th, and the 3rd going over to Denver. But you're not getting a 2nd. So with that, I'm only interested in trading Jerry Jeudy for a good 2nd round pick, right? Not like the 64th, because we saw where that gets you. Kind of the Nick Bonito territory, which is not big impact player in year 1. I'm more interested in, how about something closer to pick 33, 34? If someone wants to offer you a first, that's going to be a tough thing to turn down. Let's be honest. If Denver can go into the draft with a good, imagine this, ready? If the Broncos go into the draft with Sean Payton at the head coaching spot, he's going to save Russell Wilson and 2 first-round picks. That's going to get you jazzed up, right? That right there you're going to look at and go, okay, we can actually do something next year. I think a first would be very hard to pass on. But we'll just focus in on the 2nd for a moment. Would you trade Jerry Jeudy for a 2nd? We'll end the video with this question. Let me know in the comment section below, trade or pass.